Hey, Nation, Harry here with a friend of the family, Randy Rowe, but more importantly, a new friend, Stefan at Vendelux. Stefan, how you doing?
Good. How are you? Thanks for having me.
You're welcome. Yeah, I'm good. Where are you located today?
Calling in from New York City.
Hey, now we're talking. Well, Randy and I are coming to you from a skyscraper in Seattle. Gorgeous. So, any event, let's jump right into it. The SMB Nation audience is uh, returning to events, right? So we have a large number of IT pros, managed services providers, VARs, and so on. They're going to events. In fact, I was on a couple calls earlier this week about some recent events in our industry. Um, a couple of observations are events are still finding their footing. There was an event in the industry 2 weeks ago, a well-known trade association, and three people have told me it was a little bit light. The attendance was a little bit light, and they don't know if it's airfares, if it's COVID, if it's just people are still getting their heads around it. So before we talk about your business model, what are you seeing with events? It seemed like they can go either way, hit or miss.
Certainly. Well, COVID's a once in a lifetime disruption for the events industry, and all the data suggests that events are coming back in person and quickly, but they're not quite at kind of like pre-COVID levels just yet. I think I see stats that show around maybe two-thirds of attendance for annual events, where they compared to where they used to be.
Yeah.
That being said, about a year ago, there really weren't that many in-person events at all, and at this point, most of the major ones are back on the calendar, and the attendance levels have increased just month over month, as the virus kind of gets behind us finally, and everyone's very excited to be able to see their former colleagues, current prospects, potential prospects, all in person again.
So what's your business model?
Sure. So Vendelux is a platform that helps companies figure out the best events to participate in. Which ones should we be sponsoring? Which ones should we be sending our teams to? And it's really based on the idea that more data will help companies make better decisions. So we have the world's biggest database of professional events, from major trade shows down to even meetups. And we give you all the data you need to figure out which ones you should be at, based on who's going to be there. So which ones have the highest concentration of my potential customers, my current customers, my partners, so that we can plan the perfect calendar and get as much precious face time as we can with our customers.
Yeah, exactly. Well, Randy, you're a partner in the startup, our side startup, the Canatech Group, and in fact, you and I are going to a fairly respected conference next week. We're recording this in mid-August, and we're off to the cannabis conference in Las Vegas. So, Randy, any questions about that niche in particular and tracking?
Well, the challenge that we have is just all the new businesses, right? And getting some sort of a sense or listing even, of these new licensees that become important, to the technology providers. And there's no doubt, though, that the some of the best relationships and meetings that we get are at these trade shows, and people are there to discuss these topics. And you just don't want to miss out on these opportunities to do that. And I know for a fact that that happens, right? That you don't get to meet with the people that you really should have met with, and I would imagine, Stefan, that's where your solution comes in.
Absolutely. I mean, to be able to meet hundreds of potential customers all in one place, when they're actually in the mindset to explore new opportunities and partnerships, is a really valuable, special thing. You just don't get their level of attention that you get via digital channels when we're all getting bombarded by, the latest Twitter drama constantly. You can't really get the focus that you have in an event. People are there to network. They want to hear about what's happening next. So if you're a vendor trying to get your solution out there, it doesn't matter what it is. It could be HR software. It could be software for cannabis. It could be software for crypto. It could be any solution for any industry. There's an event out there that's specialized in bringing the right people together for a few days to go deep on a topic. And that's something you can't miss if all of your prospects are going to be there in person.
Yeah, a couple of thoughts. We did a webinar over the summer. We don't like to do a lot of webinars over the summer because we're competing with Gone Fishing and vacations and that kind of thing. And sure enough, we probably had a little bit of that. It was over in the telephony space, which is an adjacent industry to the core SMB Nation audience, which is more the traditional IT crowd. But we underperformed. And we don't know entirely why, but was it the topic? Was it Gone Fishing? Or is it just Zoom fatigue? And we kind of landed that people are burned out, Stefan, on these things.
They really are. Zoom fatigue is real. I mean, it's going to remain a part of the mix forevermore. We love the flexibility of being able to work from anywhere. I'm in New York now, but I'll be in Europe next week, and that's pretty amazing that I can continue to collaborate with my colleagues all around the world with Zoom. Webinars, Zoom, virtual events, they will always remain a part of the mix. But I would argue that this makes actually the opportunities to get together in person even more valuable because we're all kind of to some degree exhausted by all the digital back and forth, and to really get that quality time with your professional network is really important, more so than ever.
Yeah. Randy, do you want to pitch in before I ask Stefan one final question? Any other thoughts?
Well, on your subscription models, Stefan, I spoke with one of the companies I'm associated with, and they do know of your company, Brelsford, and have certainly researched it and looking into it. And share with us a little bit about the different pricing models that businesses would have an option to adopt with your solution.
Sure. So firstly, Vendelux has a free option for professionals that are trying to track relevant events of interest to them. So you work in accounting and you want to know about relevant accounting events happening in Seattle, you could sign up as a free user and get alerts around that. Our paid plans provide additional data for event marketers and sales leaders to figure out the perfect events to send a global sales team. So on our paid plans, you can see speakers, sponsors, even attendees who are saying on social media that they're going to be at an event, and understand which of those are also your top prospects, so that you can build out the perfect calendar. So additional layers of intelligence for the professional event marketers and sellers who are going to events to generate the significant portion, if not the majority of their pipeline. Anyone who's interested, feel free to go to vendelux.com, create a free account, get started, and reach out to us if you're interested in learning more about one of our paid solutions.
Yeah, and my final question is, how do you help? This is the proverbial evergreen question, if you will, event Sure. ROI. How can you help myself? So let's say I'm at a large Seattle software company. We do a lot of events. I'll just pick on F5, known for networking traffic management. They're a
Sure.
big company now. So I work for F5 and I retain you, and I'm bamboozled and perplexed about measuring ROI on events. How would you coach me?
Yeah, I mean, that's the holy grail for event marketers, is to be able to attribute all the value back to events that they're generating. You're generating net new leads from events, people you've never met before that are coming into your pipeline. You're also accelerating deals that you're already talking to by meeting in person. So deals from events will close faster. That's part of Vendelux's ultimate plan, is to build the ultimate event analytics engine. So some more work to be done there. I think in the immediate term, to generate more ROI from events, going into these events, booking in as many meetings as possible is the number one thing that a company can do to increase the ROI. You walk in there with 30, 40, demos or initial meetings booked, you're going to come back with deals, and you're going to be able to point to that event and say, this was the reason why we were so successful. But there's a lot of work to be done on this front. I could talk for an hour about all the ways to improve and measure ROI for events. We know anecdotally that it works. I think every company that is invested in trade shows can point to that $1 million deal that would have never happened if you didn't bump into the right person waiting for lunch or at happy hour at the bar or whatever it is. But to fully capture all of the impact of events is a big challenge that every company faces, and we're working with our customers daily to make it happen.
Yeah. Well, if you don't mind, again, this is a very interesting topic. It's not necessarily what the SMB Nation membership wakes up and thinks about every morning, but I what I'd like to do is maybe circle back to you after the first of the year and just get an update on the event horizon. You're going to have a lot more data. What's 2023 look like? Is it, what do airfares look like in hotels? I mean, these externalities that I swear, well, they're certainly impacting my event attendance. I can tell you that I'm looking a little bit closer at events. Randy and I were just horsing around this morning, and basic hotel rooms in Seattle in August. Now it's prime time, but in this Seattle, not New York City, but Stefan, 300 a night. I mean, that's for the Northwest. That's and I'm talking just a Hampton Inn.
Yeah, I mean. Well, frankly, this is why we're very bullish on conferences coming back full steam. I mean, there's been so much pent up demand for travel. So, the first step is for individuals to travel for personal reasons and understand that, yes, you can get on a plane again and you're going to be fine, and you can bring your family along with you. And then that leads to more confidence to travel for business events. And so, it's going to come surging back. And I think the kind of consumer travel wave is showing that is the future.
All right. Well, Stefan, thanks for your time. Randy, thanks for pitching in. And Stefan, we'll talk to you on the flip side and take a look at 2023.
Sounds good. Thanks for having me. Have a good one. Bye.